Hey everyone, this is Anu, and welcome to the first episode. I answer live questions from you all. So, I'm going to start with the questions, and I have randomly picked up these questions. So, if you think that some of my answers is incorrect, then please feel free to correct me in the comments. So, the first question is from Amar. Tell me the roadmap for placement offers. So coming to the roadmap for placement offers, right? It really just depends on what company you want to get into, because like I said before, there are two kinds of companies that you can get into. One is the product-based companies, and one is the service-based companies. And to get into the service-based companies, you generally require a little bit of aptitude, general aptitude, and logical reasoning kind of things. You don't really need to know a lot of programming related things. But if you want to get into the placement in product based companies, then you need to really start preparing from ideally as early as possible. But it's also possible to prepare in 6 months, but you'll have to know something called data structures and algorithms. You will have to build projects and like MERN projects, which is like MongoDB, Express.js, React, and Node, or you'll have to prepare web development based projects. And nowadays, everything with AI, you'll also have to do a bit of Gen AI as well. So it really just depends on what kind of company you want to get into. So if you want to get into product based, if you want to get into the big tech companies, then it's a long roadmap. And I have already made a few videos on my channel related to the 6 months roadmap or the 3 months roadmap, both of which you can follow and you can take a look. The next question is from Siddharth, and the question is that does master degree play any role for getting MNC jobs, or it can be replaced with projects? So honestly, it doesn't really matter the master's degree. Even for me, like I have thought a couple of times that should I go ahead with an MBA or should I go ahead and do an MTech, but my BTech degree is more than enough, and honestly, most people are generally BTech degree is enough for them to get into these big tech companies. So yes, definitely your project and your internship experience is going to be like 10 times more valuable than any degree. So if your goal is to get into these big tech companies, then you don't need to do a master's for that. So I'm going to keep this answer short, otherwise this would be a very, very long video. And coming to how do I keep myself updated about this field that this demands. So generally, the company that you're working with will also provide you with a lot of internal resources, which you can use to upskill yourself. And that is something that I'm currently doing. So I'm going through courses on Coursera, ML courses, and in general, just trying to use AI in everything that I do, whether it's coding, it's documentation, or anything. So anything that I do, I think about, is there an AI tool that can help me do this faster or quicker? And if there is, then I go ahead and start using that tool instead. So anything that I'm doing, I think of like, first basic thought is that can AI do this, and if yes, then how can I use AI? There's going to be a little friction, there's going to be some time before I get used to that tool, but that is true for anything that we already ever got used to. Like let's say when smartphones came in, it was not easy for everyone to start learning, it was not easy for everyone to start using the smartphones, but we generally got used to it. Same goes for any new technology that has come in. So why should we treat AI any differently? Go ahead and use it. It's going to be a little tough at first, but it's going to get easier. Is DSA in C++ or Java more in use in companies? So DSA is generally, unless you're working on many low level things or you're working on optimization algorithms, you will most probably not use DSA in the company that you're at. So it doesn't really matter. But yes, most companies have code bases both in C++ and Java, and it just really depends on the tech stack that company uses in. So if you go into big tech companies, they will generally have code bases both in C++ and Java. But at the same time, if you go into a startup, they will have a smaller code base and they will have a limited tech stack. So that way, it just depends on what company you're at. But if you're saying that should you do DSA in Java or C++, I would suggest that you can go ahead with anything. Is studying in just girls college bad? Because people say you lack exposure then. You lack exposure. It really just depends on. So right, nowadays it's, I have studied from a girls only college. So regarding exposure, I got a lot of that through the internships that I did. So I did 3 internships, and every time I got to interact with industry experts, I got to meet people. And if you're a girl, you also get a lot of opportunities, programs that companies have. Like D Shaw has their own program, 6 month program, and there are other hackathons in this which are specifically for girls. So exposure is definitely not a problem. So college is not the only place where you can connect with people and get to know more people. So exposure is definitely not a problem if you get into a girls college. So exposure is going to come from hackathons, internships, and not really from your college. So that is not something that you should be looking into for in a college. How to find collaborative people for hackathons? This is a good one. So how do you find collaborative people for hackathons? Okay, number one is Discord. So whenever you go to some hackathon, let's say I used to participate in MLH hackathons. So they always had a Discord channel for the hackathons, and people would come there, connect, discuss. So that is a great way through which you can join Discord groups of MLH hackathon. You can probably post on Twitter, or you can, yeah, posting on Twitter is a great one, or you can start writing about it on LinkedIn that you're thinking of participating in this hackathon, this is your skill set, and that you're looking for team members. So what, in a way, how you should approach this problem is like you need to pitch yourself, you need to think about what you are bringing to the table, and that is how you're going to attract people as well. So you need to write down your skills, you need to write down what you will be doing, what are your, so if you are good at front end, you will be handling that part, if you're good at back end, you will be handling that part. So you need to tell that to people, and the others will connect with you. So instead of finding people, think about whether you are a good teammate who has the right skills to collaborate with people, and that will be much more helpful. So what type of projects should I make, with some examples? So what kind of projects you can make? So you can make full, it really just depends on your interest again. So there is design as well. So recently I came to know that there, if you want to go into the UX UI designer path, you can just like make cool Figma designs, and that is also one part that you can explore, Figma design. So all of that. So really, if you are talking about software engineering, I would say that a good merge stack, full stack project, if you are developing interested in the full stack, then that is a good one to go with some real life use case, and probably something that you built in a hackathon. That is a great way to show that you solved a real life problem, which generally people don't in their projects. What you should not do with projects is definitely not, don't copy paste it from someone else's GitHub repo or use it from a YouTube project. So make sure it is your own, make sure that the idea is your own, and if it is something that, if it solves a problem that you faced personally, then that is a huge plus. And try to integrate Gen AI in some form, that is going to be a huge plus coming forward. Okay, so that's it for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. We'll try to cover more in the upcoming videos, but that's it for this one, and I'll see you in my next one. Until then, bye bye.